NBC7's Nightly Check-In is sponsored by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating and Air, Flood and Restoration.
We know how.
There are more coronavirus community outbreaks and a second straight day of spikes in cases. So why the sudden surge? Medical experts say they have a few reasons why. Thank you for joining us for the Nightly Check-In. I'm Catherine Garcia.
The reality is it's not going to be over for any time soon.
Dr. Christian Rammers is an infectious disease specialist who says we should be very concerned about the recent surge in COVID cases. He says it was expected as we reopened businesses and allowed people back in restaurants. But he says fatigue has also set in. People want this all to be over. But without a vaccine, the doctor estimates COVID will be with us through 2021 and could surge again in the fall and the winter. He says our response to this current surge is critical and should include doing the things that are proven to work. Hand washing, distancing, and covering your face.
You really have to be perfect. Doesn't do any good to wear a mask 90% of the time if you just rip it right off and expose yourself, because it only takes that one exposure.
In the state and county, there has been a significant increase in positive cases in the 18 to 34-year-old age group, but hospitalizations and deaths for that age group are low. As far as today's specific numbers, county leaders say there have been 10 community outbreaks in the last 7 days. However, the county is not going to pull back on openings yet, rather educate the public and take measures at facilities that have had instances. There are now 11,096 cases and no new deaths reported today. The uptick in cases is a concern, though, across the state, and it is why the governor started his daily briefing today by urging everybody in California to wear a mask. He said in the past 14 days, there have been more than 46,000 new cases in this state, about 35% of all cases since the pandemic began. Hospitalizations are also up statewide. More than 3,500 people were hospitalized with COVID-19 in California on Saturday, and that is the highest number since the state started reporting data. Health officials say the increase in cases is not just from increased testing, but from more spread in community settings.
We're not out of this first wave. We're not into the second wave. We're not out of the first wave. And here,
Governor Newsom played video featuring former California governors Jerry Brown, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Gray Davis, and Pete Wilson, each urging Californians to wear masks. LAX is testing out fever-detecting cameras in the fight against the coronavirus. The thermal scanning cameras are part of a pilot program scheduled to start later this month. They're designed to detect elevated body temperatures of 100.4 degrees or higher. And if a high temperature is detected, the traveler will be asked to undergo a secondary screening by a medical professional. Airport officials say the cameras will not store, transmit, or share data or images. Wearing a face mask during the summer is not only hot, but it can also cause a few other issues. Dermatologists are seeing an uptick in skin conditions related to face coverings, things like skin irritation, discoloration, and rashes. To ease the irritation, they recommend building a barrier by washing your face with a mild cleanser, then applying moisturizer with sunscreen to damp skin.
During the day, try to step into an empty room, into the bathroom, remove the mask, dampen the skin with a little water, not dripping wet, and put another thin layer of facial moisturizer on that damp skin.
And for those who wear makeup, doctors suggest using mineral-based or oil-based cosmetics under masks to avoid potential skin issues. Well, cool 70s at the beach to kick off the work week. So will that last? Meteorologist Crystal Egger joins us after a quick break with your forecast.
NBC7's Nightly Check-In is sponsored by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating and Air, Flood and Restoration.
Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE. Bill Howe. We know how.
Bill Howe is open to provide customers with repairs and services. We have taken additional measures to keep our customers and technicians safe. We will continue to provide San Diego with trusted, exceptional service.
Because we know how.
Well, for the most part, our weather is doing what it should be doing this time of year. Temperatures are warming inland, and we're still dealing with the marine layer. Of course, our June gloom at the beaches. We're going to see overall a thinning of that marine layer over the next few days and a couple degrees of warming. You're really going to notice that for the inland valleys. And then, of course, in the mountains, plenty of warmth. Deserts are going to be near 107 tomorrow, so plenty of heat for those areas as you head east.
The Japanese Friendship Garden is back open with coronavirus rules and didn't have to make too many drastic changes because it's outside mostly. The garden will limit capacity to 200 people at any given time. You have to wear a mask. You'll also notice spacing markers and signs directing you which way to go. With 90% of the garden outdoors, social distancing is easily possible and a fresh outlook is attainable.
Generally, gardens give this feel of not just healing, but just refreshment and just new energy, just because, one, you're away from everything, and if you've been here, you kind of already know our entrance is kind of sort of hidden, so it's already that feel that you're stepping away from the daily things that are going on.
Right now, the cafe is closed, a personal favorite, may I add, and in-person tours are unavailable. During the weekends, they'll hit capacity, so you might have to wait. Other than that, busy times are weekdays in the mornings and then in the late afternoons. Later in the week, the historic Hotel Del will also reopen. They will be welcoming guests again starting this Friday with limited capacity. Hotel Del says about 260 of the 700 plus rooms will be available when the hotel first opens.
They're going to see clings on the mirrors, they're going to see wraps on the remote controls, they're going to see high-touch areas disinfected, and they're going to know that these areas were cleaned, and they're going to feel comfortable that the disinfecting protocols were done correctly.
This was the first time the hotel's doors had closed since it opened back in 1888. That's going to do it for our nightly check-in. Have a good night.